In 1979, a woman vanished in California without a trace. No witnesses, no suspects, no clear motive. Her name was Frances Burdette. For more than 40 years, her case sat quietly in police files, unsolved, unanswered, and slowly fading from public memory. Friends aged. Investigators retired. Evidence gathered dust. But the truth never disappeared. In 2020, one small piece of modern science finally did what decades of questioning could not. It exposed who killed Frances Burdette and why they thought they would never be caught. Frances Burdette was not a headline-seeking person. She lived a quiet life in California, known by friends as dependable, warm, and private. She worked hard, kept close relationships, and trusted the people around her. By the late 1970s, Frances was navigating personal changes common for many adults. Work stress, relationships, and plans for the future. Nothing about her life suggested danger. She wasn't involved in crime. She wasn't living recklessly. She wasn't planning to disappear. Which is why, when she suddenly went missing in 1979, those closest to her knew something was terribly wrong. Frances was last seen going about an ordinary day. No goodbye note. No box. No sign of struggle at home. At first, police considered the usual possibilities: voluntary disappearance, a sudden decision to start over, or an accident. But those theories quickly fell apart. Frances left behind personal belongings. Money was untouched, and she had future plans she was excited about. This wasn't a woman walking away from her life. This was someone who never got the chance to come back. Detectives interviewed friends, co-workers, and acquaintances. One name came up early, someone Frances knew personally. Not a stranger, not a random criminal. But in 1979, circumstantial suspicion wasn't enough. There was no body, no murder weapon, no forensic technology capable of proving what investigators strongly suspected. As months turned into years, leads dried up. The case went cold. Frances Burdette became another name on a long list of unsolved disappearances. Cases whispered about, then slowly forgotten. But her killer made one mistake. They left behind something invisible at the time. By the late 2010s, cold case detectives began reopening old files using modern forensic genealogy. Evidence collected decades earlier, once useless, could now speak. In Frances Burdette's case, preserved biological material was re-examined using new DNA techniques. That DNA was entered into genealogical databases. And suddenly, the silence broke. The genetic trail led investigators back to a man connected to Frances in 1979. A man who had been questioned, suspected, and then released. His name resurfaced after more than 40 years. The man responsible for Frances Burdette's death was someone she trusted. He had access to her. He knew her routines. And he believed time had erased his crime. Investigators confronted him with the DNA evidence. This time, there was nowhere to hide. The motive was chillingly simple and tragically common. Control, rejection, anger. Frances had made a personal decision that threatened his sense of power. He reacted not with acceptance, but with violence. He killed her to silence her. And then he spent decades living freely while her family lived without answers. In 2020, authorities officially closed the case. Frances Burdette had not vanished. She had been murdered. This case wasn't unsolved because police didn't care. It remained unsolved because the technology didn't exist yet. In 1979, DNA profiling was impossible. Databases didn't exist. Genealogical tracking was unimaginable. Her killer relied on that gap in time. What he didn't realize was that science never forgets. For Frances Burdette's loved ones, closure came late, but came. Her name was cleared of mystery. Her story was finally told, and the truth replaced decades of silence. This case reminds us that cold cases are not dead cases. They are waiting for science, waiting for persistence, waiting for the truth to catch up. Frances Burdette lost her life in 1979, but in 2020, she got something back. Her voice. If this story stayed with you, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to Truth Trove Stories. And tell us in the comments, do you believe time protects criminals? But does it eventually expose them? Because as Frances Burdette's case proves, the truth has a long memory.